Hello everyone and welcome to another Star Wars figure review. Today we're going to take a look at another figure from the Black Series, and this time around it's another Jedi. This time it's this guy, Pablo-Jill. Quite a peculiar looking character, very cool figure right off the bat. Really pleasantly surprised with this guy. Obviously he's not a vital character to the Star Wars saga. He doesn't play a massive role in any of the films. But the amount of detail and the effort that Hasbro have put into this guy are absolutely superb, and really kudos goes out to them because this is a fantastic figure. Before we continue with this review, we're going to take a look at the packaging that Pablo-Jill comes in, and once again we have that very boring, very minimal looking packaging for Pablo-Jill. The one thing that redeems it is of course this very cool stylized image of Pablo-Jill on the card. We do of course have the Black Series logo, and once again, due to being a UK release, we have the European sticker covering the back. So not a great deal to write home about with the packaging, but you know, whatever floats your boat. You know, some like it, some hate it, and it's definitely the Marmite of the Star Wars collecting world at the moment. So there we go, that's the packaging for Pablo-Jill. Now let's take a look at this figure in a little bit more detail. As I said, this guy is absolutely superb. Hasbro have really gone into some great detail with this guy, not only in terms of sculpt, but in articulation and accessories as well. First and foremost, he does of course come with a lightsaber, which is just a standard hilt with a blue blade. Once I can get the camera to focus in on that. Nothing special about the lightsaber, but very nice to be included, of course. What's a Jedi without his weapon? The grip on the hand, I'll talk about this just briefly. It's a little bit awkward. He does have very wide palms, so holding the lightsaber can be quite a challenge, and I found the best way to do that is like this, between the fingers. Obviously it doesn't look fantastic, but it's the best way to get him to grip the lightsaber I've found without using an elastic band. As you can see as well, he does come with a Jedi robe, which I've got to say is one of the best fitting robes I've seen so far from Hasbro. You know, these Jedi robes tend to usually be very oversized, very baggy, but this one fits quite well. The hood obviously doesn't look fantastic, but the rest of the robe looks really good, so I'm very pleased with that. As I said, the sculpt of this guy is fantastic as well. You've got that really weird alien head sculpt on there. Not quite sure on the species that Pablo-Jill is, but definitely looks like an upside down non-calamari in some ways. As you can see, the sculpt of the rest of the figure is very cool as well. And just to give you a look at not only the sculpt but the articulation as well, I'm just going to remove this Jedi robe. Now, as you can see, the level of detail and just the overall sculpt of this figure is absolutely superb. I absolutely love the detail that's gone into the outfit. As you can see, he's one of the most oddly shaped Jedi from Star Wars, it would seem. He's very bow-legged and he has a hump as well. So it's definitely the Quasimodo of the Star Wars universe, it would seem. Before I run through the other details, I'll just give you a look at the articulation. Pablo-Jill does indeed have a ball-jointed head, although it does create more of a swivel movement. He has ball-hinged shoulders and elbows, ball-jointed wrists, so as you can see you get that pivoting motion there with the wrist. He has a swivel waist, ball-hinged hips, so he can do the splits, ball-hinged knees, and double-jointed ankles, very akin to the articulation we've seen in the Black Series 6-inch figures. So very impressed with that. And then as you can see, the sculpt of the overall figure is fantastic as well. Got great detail in the belt and in the pouches on there, in the robes. Just overall a great figure, and I'm very impressed with this one. Really pleased that Hasbro went to town on it, really. You know, they've just made this one of their best figures, I think, from the Black Series 3 3/4 inch line. So great figure all around. Definitely one that I would recommend picking up. For those of you that don't know, Pablo-Jill is the Jedi Knight who we see very briefly, I believe, in Attack of the Clones during the Battle of Geonosis, and then we see him again in Revenge of the Sith on the Jedi Council. So definitely a blink and you're missing type of character. But that's what I love about Hasbro, you know, they really bring us all the blink and you'll miss them characters, all the obscure aliens, and they really do put a lot of effort into each and every figure that they make, for the most part. And this is definitely one of them. So if you're a Jedi fan or you're building up a diorama, this is definitely a must-have figure. He really does look cool, and the last figure that we saw of Pablo-Jill was back in 2004, so it's definitely a much-needed upgrade if you're looking for the definitive Pablo-Jill. So a great figure, and definitely one that you should add to your collections. And we're going to take a look at a real gem in my next review. So until then, as always guys, thank you for watching, keep collecting, and may the force be with you.